Hello, and welcome to Wonderful Games Spider-Man. This is a series I kind of wanted to make for a while, and I thought, I'm going to do it now. In it, I'm going to look at 3 Spider-Man games that I've been playing recently, and kind of look at what makes them good and bad, and tell you what one I think's the best, and this music's great. Yeah, it's kind of, I didn't want it to be what's better than what, more of a comparison, but it ends up being what one's better. So we're going to look at 3, starting off with Spider-Man for the PSX. Such a... then Spider-Man 2, what might have been better in my head, nostalgia maybe, and then The Amazing Spider-Man. Yeah, because you've got to have comparison somewhere. And other games like Spider-Man 3, even Spider-Man himself does not want to be in Spider-Man 3, so we won't be touching that. So let us begin this wonderful adventure. So we start with Spider-Man 2, and I think you've got it if you're going to talk about movement, especially because this revolutionised things, especially with a whole open map, and then just letting you do this. It's so good with charge jumps and motion blur. It's great, and they even let you change it, modify it, so you can do easy or hard swing. And hard swing, I wouldn't recommend it for any missions, but it's pretty fun. It lets you do 2 lines at once, and it led to something. There was a vision I had when I was a child and saw a picture in a book of Spider-Man 2 the game before it came out, and it was him swinging to a helicopter, and that's all I wanted to do. And it allows it. It wasn't like a trailer today where it showed a cutscene and made it look like you could do it. You can do it. It's great. Everything about the movement in this game. It is improved in Ultimate Spider-Man, and I'm not doing that just because it'd be a big love fest. You can fail with the swinging in this, but it's great. Especially when you upgrade, and some of the upgrades are bullcrap, but it's just... If you've never played it, you feel... I guess the one thing I do like about Spider-Man games is feeling like Spider-Man, and if it can't do that, there's no point. Which then leads to the combat, which there's a lot to it, in a way. Square to punch, triangle to web people, and circle to dodge, and you can also slow down time with Spider Sense. There's loads of combos and things you can do, but the game is against you when you're trying to do it, because every enemy, most enemies, can block a punch or block web, so it just becomes a weird game of waiting for them to hit you so you can do a counter. That's what the game becomes, so their whole combat system goes out the window, especially when it comes to bosses, like Rhino. The whole fight is just dodging him until he gets dizzy and punching him. That's every boss fight in this game, there's not anything different. So, really? It's terrible. The game is against you, it doesn't want you to use its combat system. And yeah, I messed up. So overall, the movement in this game is great, you feel awesome, but the combat just is pressing circle a lot. So overall with movement and combat, look, this is all it is. All every boss fight is. And it's not rewarding. So, movement, yay, combat,
Where'd Spider-Wars go? Spider-Wars! Come out and play!
Then there's The Amazing Spider-Man. It doesn't matter how close you put the camera to my back, I can tell I'm not connecting with anything. I'm just floating, essentially. There is a lock, so if you're over a certain height, there's no building around, you can't swing web. It makes no difference. I don't feel like I'm involved in any way in this. It's just about the spectacle more than anything else. And there are reasons for this. I don't know if they have ever said this, but I'm pretty sure the reasons are the web zip stuff. I can't remember what it's called, web strike or whatever, what allows you to essentially fly. You can just web zip forever, like so. And it looks really, really cool, but it comes down to, after about 10 minutes of using it, it's just a quick time event. You're doing a quick time event to get around the city. You're just hitting RB over and over again, which is really cool for the spectacle, but if I want just a cool looking thing, I'll just watch the film. What's the point of having an interactive game when you're just watching him do this? And the other problem, well, not a problem, the other reason for it is most of the missions are inside. and it works really well inside. You move pretty easily. But then who thought we're going to have a new Spider-Man game and it's all going to be indoors? Everything. There's going to be a couple of missions here and there outside, but they're going to be pointless unless you want to get an achievement. But it works. It really works. They're just hallways. And I don't know why they did it. It's really depressing. I was really excited for this game. And I remember seeing everything and it just looked so good. And then as soon as I saw the whole web just in space, I worried. And I was right to worry. Why not? I was right to worry. Because when the character's having more fun than you are, I think it's a bad sign. And then there's combat. It's Arkham Asylum and Arkham City combat completely, just not as tweaked. You'll miss a lot of encounters and stuff, and it's kind of not good. Here's a thing that will show you why their combat system's kind of lacking, I guess. First real fight in the game, there's like 7 robots, and I don't know if it's just the AI or they just have overpowered moves, but you can just do one move over and over again just by spamming X and A over and over again, and they will never hit you. I got a 76 combo. If you need that achievement for getting over 40 odd combos, you can just do this and you'll get it. Why? And even normal fighting, there's no real combos or anything. You just spam X and eventually get to a point where he'll do an automatic finisher. So, like the web swinging, you just feel disconnected, like you're just watching the film, which I would rather watch the film, honestly, than just do this. And then there's another part to the combat, like Arkham City and Asylum, is stealth. And stealth was the worst idea they could have made, I think, because it looks cool. You can do double takedowns like this, and there's lots of cool things you can do, but you can do it anywhere. There's not a limit. There's never like certain rooms like in Arkham City where it's obvious you're meant to use stealth here. You can use it anywhere. And because the AI is apparently blind, you can just disappear every 10 seconds. You don't need to be stealthy to do stealth kills, because you can take someone and then just zip out of there. And I like the joke about how fat your mum is, so I thought I'd keep it in. But look, there's a guy right there. He's clearly going to see me. They have seen me. They're all going to shoot at me. But all you need to do is hit LB, you jump out, they've lost me immediately. And now I can do this again. You can do this for the whole game, with robots, with everything. So what's the point? What's the point of having any combat system if you can just do this? It's also the same as Spider-Man 2, where every boss fight is just dodging, 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 and then you punch. That's it. And then robot fights are just quick time events. These are the strongest enemies in the game, and I just beat them in 2 seconds. So, movement and combat, it's just doesn't need you.
Here it is, the records room.
Surf the web, surf the web.
Shut up, Brock, we don't have time.
Parker, wait, could it be?
Could what?
Yes.
Now it's Spider-Man for the PS1. It breaks every rule. You can't control where you swing really, but it automatically goes to walls. I don't know what it is, but I don't know if it's just the story or something, where the floor's covered in poisonous gas, so you have to stay above it, that adds something to it. I don't know, but it just feels good with the web zip, indoors and out. Also, they removed the problem with cameras in Spider-Man games, that you just see through the freaking wall. I don't know if they've done that before. I don't know what it is that makes it feel good. Just feels good. Wall crawling's fine. Everything's good, and I don't know why. I cannot actually explain why this feels better than Spider-Man 2 even, to me. It works, and it just looks good. And then combat, it's simple. Square to punch, circle to kick, web gloves, web shield, and there's web balls. Combat's easy and makes you feel like Spider-Man. I don't know what it is. It's just the old animated series or something that makes you feel it. Like taking everyone down just easily without combos or them blocking in stupid ways. It just works, and the few small things you can do put together, you can do quite a lot. Even look, just web zip, it's great. And I had to leave it in because it breaks before he shoots. I don't know why. Um, it's great. The movement's good. It's fluid. It's easy enough to chase Venom around rooftops. Well, I remember being hard when I was a kid, but I found it pretty easy this time. It's great. It's so good. It's precise, especially with the aiming. And then, even combat, they pull it off. You're on a speeding train fighting lizards. And I don't know, there's kind of invisible walls that stop you falling off. You can fall, but the combat works still. So, movement and combat in Spider-Man PSX, amazing.
Look out, lady.
Oh my goodness!
Out of my way, nerd. Watch that first step, partner. It's a doozy.
Oh, toe, ow. Oh, toe, ow.
Look out, lady.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, sorry, lady. Didn't see it there.
This one's going to be different. It's going to be a contrast between two games. Both have sewer levels. The Amazing Spider-Man and Spider-Man for the PSX. We're going to look at how they handle these sewer levels differently.
Run, Venom.
First off, Spider-Man, you're going through these, I don't know what these are, weird pipe things that have lizards on them, and get increasingly difficult as you go through it, with vertical and horizontal pipes, more lizards, and giant pits of death below. You know, it's fun. Then also as you go on, you get more enemies. You get giant gauntlets of lizard men that you have to try and beat. It's fun. I don't know how. You're stuck in tight corridors, like I didn't like about the Amazing Spider-Man earlier on, but for some reason it's good. Maybe because the environments are different and a bit unique. Who knows? But look, all these lizards, and they give the best death noise imaginable. We're back to the Amazing Spider-Man. What it involves walking through brown corridors sprinkled with a little bit of goo and fighting very generic mutants. I don't even know what they are. They're just weird mutant people. And you fight them not by mixing web gloves or whatever. You just spam X. Yeah, that's great. And the environment's so great. At some point, you're literally just walking in circles. Then back to Spider-Man, you're on a speeding train fighting lizard men, trying to survive until you reach your destination. Yeah, and let's see what's happening on The Amazing Spider-Man. Oh, that's right, walking through brown corridors, then doing a very generic dodge fight with vermin. That's all it is. And then you're up to the city streets to follow a trail of rats. You can't even see them, dude. Then you're back into the sewers for more brown corridors. I guess his commentary makes it a little better. Now in Spider-Man, we're at the puzzle part. We have to pull switches to lower water levels so you can get around, so you can open doors. It sounds kind of meh, but you get attacked by lizards while you're doing it, and if you're not fast enough, the water level will rise and you will drown. There's also tight crawl spaces where water rises, so you have to get through quick or drowning. I don't know why he doesn't learn to swim. Also another puzzle, which took me so long when I was a kid, and I'm really not sure why, because I did it in like 4 button presses. It's pretty easy. But this mixes things up. It's not just walking, punch 6 guys, walk. It's cool. And when I was a kid, I couldn't understand how to just press buttons, apparently. Amazing Spider-Man has nothing like this. The closest thing is you can do this web thing to see what way vermin went. Yeah, it's not really the same. Then in Spider-Man we have the maze, Lizard's maze, and it's great. There is so much with Venom and everything. There's giant mechanical things that will randomly crush you, all the while Venom shouting at you, and also randomly will attack you during the thing. And he's unbeatable at that point. You got to run. There's also, he leaves marks on the walls telling you if you're close or not. And you can also run into the lizard who has been caged. He's a pretty cool guy. Then in Amazing Spider-Man there's just the vermin fight. It's the same as the other one, but now there's rats. Yeah. But in the other one, Spider-Man, we have the Venom fight, which all while Mary Jane is going to drown, you have to fight Venom, and pull the switches to stop them drowning. It makes it awesome. It is so tense. I also haven't got the end of it because I didn't manage to finish it this time. It fucked me up. But it's cool. It's really good, and I don't know why games aren't just inventive anymore. And to round it up, I don't know what to say. Spider-Man on the PSX, it was different. Each little section within the level was different and great. Whereas Amazing Spider-Man is just a mixture of Oscorp, grey corridors, and brown sewers.
People of New York, I am Mysterio. I am determined that your planet is ripe for conquest.
Mysterio?
No, I've seen everything.
Do not mock me, giving your fate. Your fate is sealed.
Run for your lives! Run for it!
There's many locations in Spider-Man 2, not just, you know, the whole of New York City, but things like burning theatres with giant Mysterio holograms, or motherships with giant brains controlling it over the top of the Statue of Liberty. Pff, why not? Because that happened in Spider-Man 2, remember? Or even Mysterio's Funhouse of Doom. Yeah, the rooms flip upside down and have rubber clowns with knives that sound a lot like Jigsaw from Saw, and rooms with mirrors that duplicate Spider-Man. So I'm going to keep this one short. I think it's varied. It's very varied. Well done, Spider-Man 2.
Good to see you too, big boy, but you got a problem. Venom's got control of the Jumbotron in Times Square. He's been ranting for hours with a message for you.
Venom's ugly face on that big screen? Now that's scary.
That's not all. Rhino's on a rampage over at Omnitech as well.
What is this, the bad guy Olympics?
And this will be our last part, bosses. The most important bit to me out of every Spider-Man game, and especially in Spider-Man on the PS1. There's so many, and they're all unique and different. Like Scorpion, the whole fight, you're trying to stop him from, you're distracting him from finding JJ under desks and tables by throwing things. It doesn't always work, and even halfway through the fight, JJ runs through a door and Scorpion follows him, taking you to a new area. Well, it's not much different, but it's still a cool transition. So, pow! Scorpion's cool, I do like Scorpion. And also he has a laser, because you know, lasers. And inevitably, you punch him and defeat him. Then there's Rhino, that's again different. It's obviously what you'd expect, it's Rhino, it's making him run into things. But it's still cool. It's completely different from every other boss fight. And Dead, yeah, he's not exactly hard. Then there's Venom, what's a hand-to-hand fight. There's 2 Venom fights in the whole game. It's tough, this fight, just because you can't let him get close to you, because he does just gross stuff like that. You can throw things at him, but the best thing I found to do was just shoot web balls at him and it'll take him down. But it's cool. And the invisible thing, I think it's just invisible to your spider sense or something. It never really makes sense. And watch the icon in the top right of every boss. They're all different and cool. Mysterio, I love Mysterio. You got to shoot his nipples. And he does King Kong crap. He does stamping on you. And then, look, that's harsh. There's different things you have to tackle over his body. And during the fight, it would send these little rotating blade things after you. Also, after you take away a certain amount of his health, he will electrify the floor and start shooting you with his laser booms. Because, yeah, and Doc Ock's again, completely different. He'll attack you with his things and you've got to avoid, and as the fight goes on it gets faster and faster. And you've got to survive long enough for these to come down to get rid of his shield, or let you beat the crap out of him, you know, as fun things. But it's just so... no games are like this anymore. There's not a unique boss fight each time. They sometimes do things where it's like, we're training you to beat boss fights later. But don't. Just give me something different. Then we have Carnage, which is a really bullshit fight. I'm going to say it. I didn't finish it. I'm just showing you bits. You've got to try and dodge everything in this small area and knock him into there. And avoid it yourself because it hurts you. It's hard. I managed to do it once and then I died. For some reason I couldn't do it. But after this, it leads to the most tense and best endings to a game I may have ever played. Monster Rock. Monster Rock is like the most tense. It's not even a fight, it's just a chase. And I think it's just the way he looks, the way he shouts, the way the camera angle's placed. You never know what's in front of you. It's great. I will replay this just forever, over and over again, just to feel this. Because no games do this anymore. Every game's fucking boring. And let alone this game having great boss fights, it's just this unstoppable force. Look, it just wrecks. He wrecks everything. There's like 6 massive doors for unknown reasons, and he destroys them. I died quite a few times trying to play this, but the time I did survive was when my camera angle messed up and everything went diagonal for some unknown reason, so I don't know how I survived, because the controls were not being nice to me. And then, because it's a one-hit kill, he gets close to you and you get tense as hell. So I messed up there, didn't die, not quite sure how. And then after what feels like an eternity, you reach the end. The awesome cutscene that, with weird pastel fire or something. And just wrap this up. Bosses and Spider-Man, amazing, amazing.
Our bad? Our bad? I'm gonna kill you!
Peter Parker! Just get me out of here now!
Bummer. You're in the doghouse now, dude.
Coming, honey.
And then we go to the Amazing Spider-Man. I'm also going to wrap in with Spider-Man 2 because the problems are exactly the same. The upside about Spider-Man 2, there are more bosses. Amazing Spider-Man, there's more boss fights. But whether it's Nessie, Scorpion, Vermin, or even the Lizard, each boss fight is exactly the same. It's just multiple dodges and then punch. They're exactly the same. And it's the same with Spider-Man 2. Every fight is just dodging and punching. The only time it really deviates from that is this Lizard fight, the last Lizard fight, and any robot fight. But even then, they're just quick time events. There's nothing. Like with the movement, you don't do anything. And then Spider-Man 2, I'm going to be honest, I didn't play for the whole game because that would have taken forever. But I've got a couple here. There's 2 types in the whole game, and here's just the Rhino one for example, because even the Doc Ock ones, exactly the same. There's only a couple of bosses. I think there's Shocker as well, and that's about it. Here's the other things. They're kind of puzzles, I guess. You have to destroy switches to try and stop the reactor blowing up. It's not really hard. It's just about timing, and as long as you have spider sense, you can just jump. It mixes things up, but then I don't know if they're really a boss. I just put it in because it's something different, I guess. But yeah, there's only like 4 bosses in the whole game, and they're all exactly the same. So I don't. And Ragdoll on Spider-Man. There's also chases with Black Cat. I don't think they're a boss, but it's the separating point, I guess. I'm just trying to add something because really, there's no variety in bosses. Amazing Spider-Man and this both are lacking in. Like, Amazing Spider-Man has lots of bosses, but they're all the same, and this has 4, and they're all terrible. So. And then just before we end, I thought if you add this cheat in, I'll tell you, it unlocks What If mode early, so you can have some different boss fights, like Mini-Ock. It's great, it's so good. And then there's Carnage fight, it changes as well, like, it gives him a baby voice. Because, yeah, Namor also's there, because, again, really no reason. And there's also a giant shark that swims around, so just thought, add What If mode, and it makes the game 100 times more fun.
One down, one to go. Wonder how Venom's doing. Eddie, are you alright? Talk to me. Wake up, Brock.
Look out. Behind you.
What'd you say?
And here we are at the end. I'll make this quick because this is a long ass video. Spider-Man 1, it's not Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man for the PSX. It's such a good game. Everything's different, each level is unique, each boss fight's unique as well. It's so good. So out of all 3, I'm going to have to say my favourite is Spider-Man for the PSX. I even went back and I've played it another 2 times, and I've even ordered Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro because I couldn't even remember it. So I've ordered that just because it's great. I don't know if it's good. Spider-Man 2, it's fun, and I recommend it to anyone. It's one of the best Spider-Man games. It's just the combat's kind of dull, and so are the bosses. But it's really fun to swing around the whole of New York, and the upgrade system's good. The side quests are great. I recommend it. It's just It was better in my head, I guess. And then The Amazing Spider-Man, it's a newer game. It's not great. It's fun for a bit, but I have to go through it if I want 100% it to get all the collectibles, and I can't, because each level is exactly the same. It's just not good. So level 3, Spider-Man wins for the PSX, and the other two are... Spider-Man 2 is better than Amazing Spider-Man. It wasn't meant to be a, like, what's better than what, it was meant to be a comparison, but I just gotta say. Hopefully we'll do more of these if people watch it and like it. Maybe 2 a month, because this took a while to freaking make. If you wanted more, I also did one for the Amazing Spider-Man the movie, but just there wasn't enough time, because this is a long-ass video already. Yeah, thank you for watching. I have an idea of what I'd do next if we do it. But yeah, hope you liked. Thank you for watching Wonderful Game Spider-Man. I'm Archie, and watch more British Dude stuff. Thanks, bye.